He begins by stepping into the morning of October 30th, 1978. A day that would ignite one of East Africa's most consequential chain reactions. As Ugandan tanks roared across the Kagera River, Idi Amin believed he was crafting a spectacle of dominance, one that would humiliate Julius Nyerere and reinforce his myth as Africa's unshakable strongman. But what he failed to grasp was that this reckless invasion would become the spark that exposed every fracture within his regime. His undisciplined troops terrorized Tanzanian villages, looting, burning, and committing atrocities that turned fear into fury. In that moment, Amin had woken a sleeping giant. Nyerere, patient for years, now possessed both moral justification and the military resolve to strike back. The invasion unified Tanzanians, empowered Ugandan exiles, and set into motion the downfall of a dictator who had long mistaken brutality for power. He turns back to the origins of the man behind the chaos, Idi Amin, born on May 30, 1928, in the rural hills of Nakasero, grew up with little education but towering physical presence. His strength and fearlessness earned him a place in the King's African Rifles, where the British shaped him into an instrument of force. Yet what they also shaped, perhaps unknowingly, was his appetite for control. Rising through the ranks despite his illiteracy, Amin became both admired and feared. By the early 1960s, Obote viewed him as the perfect enforcer, loyal, intimidating, and effective. But ambition simmered beneath the surface. Amin cultivated influence among soldiers, built secret networks, and quietly positioned himself for the opportunity he later seized. He recalls the fateful moment in 1971 when Obote left Uganda for a Commonwealth meeting. Amin moved swiftly, seizing Kampala in a bloodless coup and declaring himself president. At first, crowds cheered him. He danced barefoot with civilians, staged parades, and promised justice. Yet behind the charm emerged a machinery of terror. Amin purged rivals, executed thousands, unleashed secret police units, and plunged Uganda into fear. Then came the catastrophic decision of 1972, the expulsion of Asians, removing the backbone of Uganda's economy and replacing skill with chaos. Businesses collapsed, inflation soared, and Amin's rule descended into brutality wrapped in theatrics. He awarded himself titles, mocked world leaders, and projected the image of a fearless emperor while his nation starved. He describes how Amin's paranoia deepened, worsening relations with neighboring Tanzania. Nyerere had sheltered Obote and Ugandan exiles, fueling Amin's resentment. When Ugandan rebels fled into Tanzania after mutinying, Amin chose escalation over diplomacy. His invasion was meant to intimidate. Instead, it exposed the hollow core of his military. As Tanzanian forces counterattacked alongside Ugandan exiles, the illusion of Amin's strength evaporated. His soldiers lacked discipline, morale, and loyalty. Towns fell rapidly. Civilians turned against him. His allies hesitated. Even foreign backing could not salvage the unraveling regime. He brings the fall into focus. April 11, 1979, when Tanzanian and rebel forces entered Kampala. Amin fled in disguise, abandoning the very nation he once ruled with an iron fist. From Libya to Saudi Arabia, he drifted into quiet exile, never facing trial for the hundreds of thousands killed under his rule. His final years were spent in silence, far from the land he shattered through fear, arrogance, and catastrophic miscalculations. His death in 2003 closed the chapter on one of Africa's darkest legacies, but the lessons remained, carved into history by the consequences of one disastrous choice. This is a story of triumph. Did the protagonist make the right decisions? If you were in this situation, what would you do? Share your opinion in the comments. We want to know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Memorable Stories and Overcoming, where inspiring stories of triumph and justice are shared daily.